a massive number of walkers have peeled off of the main herd and is heading towards Alexandria. That leaves Rick, Michonne, Glenn, and the remaining Alexandrians not much time to head back to town and warn everyone before it's too late. Situation like this, there's only one rule. Keep moving. Don't slow down. Don't stop. Bad things happen if you do. There are major spoilers ahead. If you have not seen this episode of The Walking Dead, turn this off, go watch it, then come back when you're done. You've been warned. For the rest of us, it's Season 6, Episode 3 of The Walking Dead. Thank you. I am not happy. You are probably not happy. My wife is certainly not happy, and no one else I've talked to is happy at all here. Nicholas, you bastard. If you're gonna take yourself out, at least take out some walkers with you. Don't take out the one person that has been giving you chance after chance after chance. This guy tried to kill Glenn, and Glenn still, being that hero that he is, still willing to give people a chance, still willing to give people the opportunity to step up and be better people. And it appears that this has cost Glenn his life. Now there are a few theories out there. I can come up with my own that this may not actually be the end of Glenn. It's not the usual type of death scene that we've seen with people, with them being completely ripped apart. We are just really seeing his reaction as guts are pulled off of him. The reason that there might be some small inkling of a chance is because if you watch the scene again, Nicholas falls on Glenn after he shoots himself. Bam! And then falls on top of Glenn, which knocks Glenn back into the walker. So Nicholas's body is on top of Glenn at this point. So it's entirely possible that the walkers are actually ripping Nicholas apart, and we are seeing Glenn's reaction as this is happening on top of him. However, he is still surrounded by an endless wave of walkers. His legs, I mean, even if they're ripping out Nicholas's chest, Glenn's legs are still out there. There's still a chance to go on. So there may be a small chance, but we all understand that this is us reaching. We don't want to see this. Glenn has been here since the beginning. And there was a really nice kind of throwback in the mid of the episode when he calls Rick dumbass over the walkie, which is how he referred to Rick initially when he discovered Rick in the tank back in episode 2, Guts. Very appropriate. So there was kind of a nice flashback moment in this. And obviously, Glenn had that moment when he was ready to go off to try and burn down the feed store, where he took his own personal moment and he looked at Herschel's watch and he kind of took a breath, and that's when he contacted Rick on the radio. So there was kind of a goodbye sense with that. And the sequence that happened with David, with writing the note off to his wife, his explanation of how he'd met her, that he was lost and she found him and made him a better man, and that he was writing this note. There is a argument that could be made that this is sort of Glenn's story as well, as being told through David. Though Glenn was never lost. Maggie certainly made him a better person and helped him evolve into the massive badass that he is, or was, depending. But he was always a good guy, and that's been the one major thing with Glenn from the beginning, is his willingness to put himself out there, to take the risk, to help people out. He is not one to leave people behind, which is what motivated this whole section when they arrived towards this small town. I mean, I could give complaints about, how long it took them to get to the town and how long it get from the town to back to Alexandria, and how far did Rick have to run, and there's timing issues that could probably be broken down and argued minutia wise. None of that's really important. What it comes down to is this is what we're looking at: how characters react to situations. There are wounded. Glenn and Michonne are not people who want to leave them behind. When Rick told them to keep moving, not all of these people are going to make it. You can't stop. Heath took that as a resignation against the Alexandrians, that they were not as important. Rick, especially when his radio call later on, where Daryl's coming back and he's saying, no, we have to keep moving. This is for the people. If we do something else, if we turn around, if we try to do this, that would be for us. We have to keep moving forward. This is for the town. That's what he was referring to. Rick is looking at the bigger picture. He knows that Alexandria has to be warned, that people have to keep moving, that deaths are going to happen. That is the reality of this world. But Heath took that as a willingness to cast people aside. And I don't really think that that's what he meant. Rick said what he said to people that would hear what it was that he was saying. He knows who Glenn is. I mean, Glenn saved his butt at the very beginning, and Glenn has always been there saving people's butts. Michonne, while she was the lone warrior for the longest time, really has embraced the group and become kind of a strong soul and guide of the group as well. He knows that these people aren't going to leave people behind, but he has to remind them of what the bigger picture is. And that is, you have to keep going. There is a mission, and people are going to die. And if you slow down to help them, you could die too. And your loss is much bigger than these people, in the sense that Michonne and Glenn are hardened warriors. You know, they can survive the whole thing. To lose them over somebody who is most likely going to die anyway is a big waste. And I mean, it really sets off the bat the guy who's complaining and blaming Rick for everything. I mean, he's the first one to bite it. They've already run away. That was like the one walker in the area. These people's heads are not on swivels. That's how David got bit in the back also. He finished up the one sequence, and then someone came up behind him. They're not grasping the real depth and danger of this world, which is why they're not going to make it, and they're not making it. Just so frustrating seeing him go like that. Man, in such a nasty way, too. I mean, Noah was worse. Noah was definitely worse. But Glenn is someone we care about, and I think that's why the impact for this is so much greater. And you know, does this really help? Does this draw anyone away? No, it's kind of a loss, and I think that's the bigger thing. It's not a death out of rescuing someone or pushing or saving Maggie or anything like this. He was trapped with Nicholas at the end of a dead-end alley. It's not stopping, it's not drawing any walkers away. It's a massive herd. So I think it's I don't know, if you're going to die for something great. You know, die a hero's death. This, while he was a hero by all considerations, his death was kind of a waste, and I think that's what really hits people the most. And quick back with Heath and Michonne's discussions with Heath. I think that was a really needed thing to have, and a very appropriate time. You know, Heath is concerned that Rick doesn't see them as important, and obviously the guy at the beginning is blaming Rick for everything, and then he dies. So don't blame Rick for things. You do that and you die. But I think Michonne's conversation with him afterwards is you don't know. I mean, again, Alexandria's been really well protected. Even Heath going on runs hasn't really had to encounter the type of things that the group has. I mean, God, no one should have to encounter what they've had to. And her trying to relate this, and then the reflection back while they're crossing the river, and he looks down and sees this reflection and sees the blood on his face. I think everybody immediately thought back to her statement is when you covered in blood and you don't know if it's yours or Walker's or your friends, Those are the type of circumstances, and that's the reality that glimpse gives him, gives Heath the glimpse into, on who it is that he is dealing with now, and where they have been, and what the depths of this world will drive people to. Now at the end, Rick's kind of in a bit of trouble. I mean, he's attacked by the very wolves that Morgan let go at the end of last episode. So this is what happens. You have to kill these people because they will come and kill your friends. But of course, nobody's stopping Rick. I mean, he gets attacked. You knew these guys were doomed. But when he is trying to restart the RV and the walkers are coming, that's a real first glimpse of kind of loss and terror and panic that I think we've seen on Rick's face in a long time. And how's he going to get this? I don't know. But this repeats one of the other basic rules of zombies and post-apocalyptic survival. Never turn off the car. It won't start again. I mean, that's like a basic rule. Just leave it running. Are you afraid you're going to waste gas? Afraid you're going to draw on walkers? That's the whole point. Don't turn it off. I was excited that it started up immediately as soon as he jumped in. And he's wounded. That cut on his hand, I'm actually kind of concerned he's going to pass out with the loss of blood with him running for so long and kind of pumping that up. It's kind of a serious wound. I'm not concerned that he's going to turn or anything, that the infection has gotten in and is going to kill him in any sense. But I think he's definitely going to start getting delusional, which is not good when you have a herd of walkers on you right now. What's going to happen there? We gotta wait till next week. We gotta keep waiting till next week. These episodes, man, the whole first half of the season's gotta end up being like a day and a half. We're gonna be freaked out by the end of it. Is Glenn really dead? Probably. Is Rick dead? He doesn't look good. I mean, he's kind of an unkillable, but we kind of said that about Glenn for a long time. He's gonna climb up on top of the RV, start booking it. Is it going to finally start? Probably not. What's going to happen? I don't know. And again, we've got to wait till next week. Constantly waiting to next week. But come back and join us. Hit like if you enjoyed what you heard here. Feel free to subscribe. Comments in the section below. Always appreciate that. I'm D. I'm going to head out. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode and are recovering. Hold out hope that something good is going to come out of all of this, because I think we're all feeling it in here right now, and it's sad. Oh well. You guys take care. Try and get through this week, and I'll see you next week. Outs.